This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here is the news edited by Lal Mallavarachi and read by J. Yogaraj. First, the headlines. The President says import of chemical fertilizers will be banned. A special meeting to discuss the COVID-19 current situation will be held today under the patronage of the President. The government is considering to halt all public gatherings during the next 4 months. Kuliapiti police area isolated from yesterday. International Books and Copyrights Day falls today. New Delhi hospitals run out of oxygen supplies. And those are the headlines. The President's Media Division yesterday informed that the import of chemical fertilizers will be completely banned in near future. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has further stated that it is more important to conserve human and animal life than to yield a better harvest using chemical fertilizers. He had stated this during a meeting held yesterday at the President's house. He also urged authorities to develop the process of organic fertilizer manufacturing locally. There is more of a need to develop a healthy population than harvest. Therefore, the import of chemical fertilizers will be banned in near future. The President further said that the usage of chemical fertilizers leads to a better harvest. However, the negative effect it has on human lives through pollution of lakes, canals and groundwater due to the chemical fertilizers outweigh the profit. The expenses to treat these patients and the impact on human lives caused by these chemical fertilizers remain high, noted President Rajapaksa, while stating that in order to produce a healthy and productive citizens, the government must ensure the right of the people to access a non-toxic and balanced diet. President Rajapaksa said that the measures will be taken to ensure that only organic fertilizers would be used in the agriculture sector in the country in future. State Minister Dr. Sudarshani Fernandopoulos says that the government is considering a proposal not to give permission to hold any festival or ceremonial occasions during the next 4 months. As there is a trend of rapid spread of COVID-19 virus, there cannot be any relaxing of the health guidelines. And there is a risk of spreading the virus among the young population. However, no decision has yet been taken to close down the country. A special meeting to discuss the current situation will be held today under the patronage of the President. This news comes to you from Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
HDFC Smart Goals. All it takes is 3 years.
The Government Information Department reports that 657 more persons have been tested positive for COVID-19 yesterday. All new cases are close associates of patients from the Paliagoda COVID-19 cluster. The total number of COVID-19 cases reported in the country so far has climbed to 98,722, while total recovery stands at 93,884. The Director General of Health Services confirmed 5 more COVID-19 related deaths, pushing the death toll due to the virus pandemic in Sri Lanka to 634. Meanwhile, Kuliapiti police area has been placed under isolation from yesterday. Army Commander General Shavendra Silva says that this decision was taken to control the spread of COVID-19 in the area. The Army Chief noted that the isolation order on Kuliapiti police area will be in place until further notice. Speaker Mahinda Yapa Abeyewardena says a 7-member committee has been appointed to investigate the tense situation that occurred in Sri Lanka's parliament recently. What happened there was unfortunate. It's something we should all be ashamed of, he said. The speaker was referring to a brawl that broke out in Parliament on Wednesday when government MPs were trying to attack main opposition Samagi Jana Balawegaya MP Harin Fernando. And that's local news.
Darling, our daughter has top O-level results. Do you know what this means?
Yes, just 3 years and she'll be going abroad for her degree.
For which we'll need a bank loan.
But is a normal loan the smartest option?
What else?
The smartest way is to start an HDFC Smart Goals account.
Let your child begin their degree with no delays. Start an HDFC Smart Goals account. Call 2356 888.
Honey, you're so smart.
HDFC Smart Goals. All it takes is 3 years.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
World Book Day, also known as World Book and Copyright Day, falls today. This is an annual event organized by the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization to promote reading, publishing and copyright. The first World Book Day was celebrated on 22nd April in 1995 and continues to be recognized on that day. The first phase of the national program titled Ratak Watina Potak Project was launched with the objective of improving the children's creative writing and reading skills during the period of school closure due to the COVID-19 pandemic. And that was main news.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
In Washlight, Environment Minister Mahinda Amaravira says about 100 billion shopping bags are issued to consumers every year by supermarket chains and 10 million lunch sheets are added to the environment every day. The minister made this observation while participating in a program at Viharama Devi Park in Colombo yesterday to mark the World Earth Day. The program was jointly organized by the Environment Ministry and the Colombo Municipal Council. And that was Washlight.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of
the best discount in this Urdu season. People's Leasing Polywasi. Enjoy an interest rebate of 25% from People's Leasing for all the leasing facilities during this Urdu season. Call 011-206-300 for more details. Conditions apply.
People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
World News headlines first. New Delhi hospitals run out of oxygen supplies. Russia to pull troops back from near Ukraine. NASA's Ingenuity helicopter makes second Mars flight. And those are the headlines. 6 hospitals in the Indian capital Delhi have completely run out of oxygen, and doctors say other hospitals have just a few hours worth of supply left. A number of people have died while waiting for oxygen, and more than 99% of all intensive care beds are full. India is in the grip of a second wave of COVID infections and on Tuesday recorded the highest one-day tally of new cases anywhere in the world. After weeks of tension over a build-up of Russian troops close to Ukraine's border, Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu has ordered a number of units in the area back to their bases. The EU estimated that more than 100,000 Russian soldiers had amassed near the border as well as in Crimea, which was seized and annexed by Russia in 2014. The American Space Agency has completed a second helicopter flight on Mars. The small drone 5 meters above the ground tilted and moved 2 meters before reverting and putting itself back down on the spot from which it took off. And NASA wants each successive outing to up the little chopper to fly higher, further and faster on Monday. And that was World News.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of
The best discount in this Urdu season. People's Leasing Polybasi. Enjoy an interest rebate of 25% from People's Leasing for all the leasing facilities during this Urdu season. Call 011-206-300 for more details. Conditions apply.
People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
In development news, work on the Basnagoda Reservoir project commenced with the aim of supplying drinking water and industrial water required for several areas in Gampaha, Attanagalla, Minuwangoda and Meerigama Divisional Secretariat divisions. A ceremony of cutting the first sod of earth to commence the construction of the project was held under the patronage of Irrigation Minister Chamal Rajapaksa and Tourism Minister Prasanna Ranatunga at Kasaragoda in Attanagalla. A reservoir will be created across the Basnagoda Oya, which is a branch of the Attanagalu Oya. And that was development news. In sports, today is the third day of the first test between Sri Lanka and Bangladesh at Pallekele International Stadium in Kandy. Batting first, Bangladesh were 474 for 4 wickets at stumps yesterday. The match was delayed by bad light. When bad light brought an early end to the proceedings, Musfikir Rahim was unbeaten on 43, while wicketkeeper batsman Liton Das was batting on 25, with the pair having already added 50 runs for the unfinished 5th wicket. The Bangladesh batsmen continued to make merry on a placid batting pitch as the overnight pair of Najimul Shanto 163 and Monimul Haq 127 frustrated the Sri Lankan bowlers with a splendid 242-run stand for the 3rd wicket. And that was sports news.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply. Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
Consulate General of Sri Lanka in Sydney, in association with the Sri Lanka-Australia Chamber of Commerce, organised a business networking meeting during an official visit undertaken by the Consul General, Mr. Lakshman Hulugalle. The event was held on 22nd March 2021 at the O.J. Wordsworth Room of the Queensland University of Technology. And that was Business News.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money. Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
In economic news, Sri Lanka stocks fell 1.42% on Thursday. The foreign investor brought 527 million rupees of Windforce Limited, a renewable energy firm which debuted on the market after a successful 3.2 billion rupee initial public offering. And that was economic news. Moving on to the weather report, the Met Department says showers or thunder showers will occur at several places in western, Sabaragamu, central, Uva, north, central and southern provinces during the afternoon or night. Heavy rainfalls, about 100 millimeters, can be expected at some places in western, Sabaragamu, central, southern and Uva provinces. And with that, we conclude this news broadcast. Before we conclude this news broadcast, let's look at the main points once again. The President says import of chemical fertilizers will be banned. A special meeting to discuss the COVID-19 current situation will be held today under the patronage of the President. The government is considering to halt all public gatherings during the next 4 months. Kuliyapiti police area isolated from yesterday. International Books and Copyright Day falls today. And with that, we conclude this morning news broadcast of Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.